Hey guys, Adam ACS Radical here. So, not too long ago, I made a video about what kind of character I like to play as when I'm playing a video game, whether it's, gender based in this point. So, I wanted to kind of expand on something that I ended up talking about for a brief moment in that video where I did end up mentioning about how I think it is a little ridiculous that when it comes to armor sets and clothing sets and stuff like that, that female armor always tends to be a lot more sexualized. And this has been something that's been brought up by, obviously, the first time I really noticed that people were aware of it and really talking about it was obviously when Anita Sarkeesian did her usual spiel about it. And I don't generally like what Anita says, but there are times where you do kind of have to agree to an extent to what she is saying, because there is an issue. In this specific case, there is absolutely 100% an issue when it comes to how armor sets are created for different genders. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that bikini armor is a bad thing. I don't believe that that's the case, because I think when it comes to any sort of game that is in a fantasy mindset, you can do whatever the fuck you want and claim that that's what it is in that world. The only difference is if you're playing a realistic game and a woman is fighting in nothing but a bikini. Like, let's say if there's a Call of Duty and the woman's playing, without her armor on, like, that's okay, guys, come on. But in the case of like a fantasy game like an MMORPG that's like Final Fantasy 14, or if we're playing a game like, I don't know, what's it like, say The Witch, no, The Witcher's a bad example, but like say Dragon Age or something like that. I think you have to kind of just let it go in terms of they can make whatever kind of armor they want, and you can claim that that's just what the world operates as. I don't care about the practicality part of it, in all honesty. Like when people say, "Oh, I don't like it because it's just impractical. Like you would just take a million arrows to your legs and you'd be fucked." I don't care. That doesn't break my immersion because I'm not playing a fantasy game for realism. That's kind of the point between fantasy reality. I figured that was easy to understand, but apparently for some it's not. But I mean, in all honesty, the idea of this armor doesn't bother me. The only thing that really does bug me is that there's no even playing field. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's take a look at anime, because I'm a big anime guy. You know how just insert any harem anime. Any anime that even has like a lot of ecchi in it, and there's like one guy main character and there's a few girls. You know what happens. You know exactly what goes on. Every episode, there's got to be at least some point where the girl has an upskirt, or she's in the shower, or she's changing, or she falls over and there's a butt shot, or somebody's grabbing her boobs left and right. There's all of these things that happen in an anime. And you don't ever really see the guys ever kind of taking that sort of attention either. Now, I'm not saying people need to be going around, like guys need to be going around grabbing other guys' crotch, or guys need to be falling over and exposing their butts to the world. What I'm saying is for the things that are just as common, like, say, taking a shower, like undressing, that kind of stuff. I think that you need to be able to have a balance. You can't just have every single girl under the sun showing her tits to the fucking audience, and at no point having the guy walk around with his shirt off, or at the very least, in the shower with some boy butt. Because I've always had that thing. That doesn't even have anything to do with being bisexual. When I was watching shows like Phantasy Star Online, or Phantasy Star 2 Online, the animation, I didn't consider myself bi at that point. I don't even know if I was really bi-curious at the time I was watching that. And I was still ecstatic to see the scene where the main male character is in the hot spring, and you absolutely full on see his butt. I mean, sure, not too long after you see one of the girls doing the exact same thing, but at the very least there was an even playing field in that scene. And as a person at the time who was only interested in girls, I still looked at that and I didn't go, "Oh my God, that's a guy's ass. Oh my God, I'm suddenly going to turn gay now." That sort of reaction to me is also ridiculous. And even then, when it's just as simple as, "I'm only watching this for girl butts. I don't care. I don't want to see that stuff." Too fucking bad, because in real life, you're not going to see girl butts either. So, I mean, what's the difference? It's like when people watch porn. Like, this is the hypocrisy when it comes to this kind of stuff. Anyone who sits there and says, "I don't want to have to see guys under the same ecchi content as girls on the same show," you watch porn, and what do you think you're staring at every single time you watch that? You're watching a guy's dick flopping back and forth. You're watching a guy's ass. So you're watching literally a naked guy, and you're watching his fucking naked body parts flailing around. Like, come on. Don't be stupid. So, moving completely back to the armor conversation, this is exactly where I feel on the issue, where I don't give a shit if it's not practical or if it doesn't look very good. At some point, there needs to be a balance. So if we're going to have, say, a level 40 Warriors armor be for the guys, it's plate armor with full-on leggings and that kind of stuff. You see chain armor here and there. He looks like a fucking jacked up badass. At some point, there needs to be either a variation. Like, there are two options we have here. There either has to be both sides of the equation. So there has to be plate armor for both genders, and then sexualized armor for both genders for the same kind of area, or you do one or the other. You either have plate armor for both, or you have sexy armor for both. You either do all of them at the same time, or you just pick one and you do it for both. Because I think it's bullshit that for a guy, the armor is full-on body armor, and for a woman, the exact same level of armor and the exact same named armor is now bikini armor, or is armor that puts full thighs out, you can see your butt, whatever. Like, I have no problem with the look of it. I don't care about that part. It's literally just the even playing field that I'm worried about. I want to see, and not because I'm bisexual. I do need to make this clear. I don't want this to happen just because I'm bi and I want to see some boy butt. I want to see some crotch, bulges hanging out. No, I don't give a shit about that front. But if you're going to have the game where you're going to have a girl in bikini armor, you need to have the opposite be true as well. So if you're going to have bikini armor, that same armor should be, bare minimum, unless you're going to make two different sets, literally just like a belt over, like hanging over his chest like a suspender almost, and then fucking briefs, leather briefs or chain, like I don't know what the fuck it would be at that point, but it needs to be that. And whether the guy has fucking jacked up abs and muscles over every fucking muscle out there, or he's just a skinny fucking guy, depending on how you make your character, doesn't make a difference. That armor should be there. It should be the exact same. There should be that even playing field where a guy is just walking around in his underwear if a girl's going to walk around in what's basically a bikini. That's how it should work. If you're going to do one, you need to be able to play the other side. I don't give a shit what the audience is anymore. We are at a point now where I think I'm sick and tired of hearing, well, the target audience is male, so they don't want to see that stuff. I don't care anymore. In all honesty, like, I get the whole, you want to appeal to your demographic, but at the same time, like, it's ridiculous to think that to appeal to a demographic, you have to devoid them of certain content. I don't ever like the idea that, if it's designed for guys, you can't possibly have a guy with his shirt off or a guy in his underwear. Like, no, guys would never go for that. I don't give a crap if that's even the case at this point, because I think it just looks stupid. It really does. It doesn't make any logical sense anymore. We're in a time where I think we're supposed to be looking past what people's sexuality are and not really thinking that far ahead, And the other thing is, too, let's be honest here, shows that are even designed for women, girls still end up being very sexualized and still end up being very wearing skimpy outfits and sometimes even showering and that kind of stuff. So it doesn't really change anything. Like, I watch Code Realize, for example. That's a show clearly designed for girls. And still, main girl's got giant tits, and they make sure that you know that she's got giant tits. So, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't look at these kind of things anymore from a sexual lens. I think it's literally just, if you're going to do one, you need to do the other. I don't care if a guy would suddenly be offended that he has to look at some guy's crotch, which, by the way, again, like I said, you watch porn. Like, don't give me that bullshit that you can't physically watch porn without seeing the dick. That's just impossible. You're not watching anal porn without the idea that you're going to see a dick shoved in some girl's ass. Like, I hate to be, a little crass when I say that, but that's the reality of it. If you're going to complain about having to see a guy in armor that you don't think he would wear, well, you kind of have to go hand in hand with the fact that there's armor for girls that they wouldn't wear either. They would rather be fully protected. And instead of what a lot of feminism and what of a lot of SJWs are trying to do, I don't want to take it away, because I don't care. I don't care about the actual practicality armor. I don't care that it's sexualized. I really don't give a shit. I'm just saying, if you're going to do one, you need to do it the same the other way. I don't want to censor. I don't believe in censorship. What I believe in is fair and equality. That's what I believe in. That's true equality. You let artistic freedom go, but if at some point it gets so far skewed in the other direction, I'm just going to sit there and say, dude, I don't want you to stop doing it, but for fuck's sakes, at least try to make it look like you're trying to put an even playing field on this. That's all I really got. So come on, let's bring on the boy butt. Let's bring on the guys in skimpy clothings too. Fuck it. Who cares? And if you guys don't like it, tough luck, deal with it. So that's what I got to say on that front. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.